What's going on, guys? It's Radar here with my Holden Commodore VF V8 Supercar first impressions video. Now that's not my car, I'm just in a public practice session at the moment so that there's cars to drive around with. But yeah, finally it's here. The Holden Commodore, after about 9 months of waiting, it's arrived, and it's been definitely well worth the wait. It's a sexy looking car, and of course I'm going to be biased because I'm a Holden fan. So any Ford fans out there, I'm sorry, but the Falcon was my old faithful, but this is my new faithful. I like this already. So as you can see, they've added backfires to the car, paintable wheels, so they've brought it in line with the rest of the iRacing service with those extra features they've added. But they've changed a fair bit since the last car, so we'll go into some specs of what actually has changed on the car. So from the front end, the engine has been moved 100mm more to the rear, so 10cm or 4 inches closer to the driver. The driver's also been moved further inboard. I don't know the exact measurement for that, I didn't find that anyway. The roll bar across the front of the windscreen has now gone, so the Larry bar, which has been there for yonks, is gone. They updated the windshield. It was glass, but now I think it's a plexiglass perspex sort of thing. I can't remember. It starts with a P. They put that on the front windshield. So if any of you want to know what the Larry bar does, Craig Lowndes, Bathurst 2005 tyre. YouTube, you'll see why the Larry bar was invented. And as we go further back, the fuel cell has been moved towards the back seat now. It effectively is in the back seat. It used to be more in the boot, which led to spectacular incidents such as Carl Reidler at Barber Yellow, where he went up in flames. So they've eliminated that by bringing it more towards the front, which in turn, all those changes completely change the weight distribution of the car. Everything's more central, so it's more towards the middle of the car, which makes it more racy and just more fun to drive as well. I had to think about the sentence there. Along with that, the rear end itself has changed drastically. No longer do we have the live rear axle, which, to give you an idea of what a live rear axle is if you don't already know, you get your 2 rear wheels right on a steel bar across there, and that's your live rear axle. There's no independent suspension, so if one wheel did something, the other wheel would react with it. They weren't independent of each other, whereas now with the independent rear suspension, they are independent. Also, the gearbox has changed. I'm running through facts off my top of my head here. So the gearbox is now no longer attached to the engine at the front. It's now with the axle, so we've got a transaxle gearbox at the back. It's a 6-speed sequential again. It's an Australian-made Holden gearbox. They had a few issues with in 2013 with teething problems, but they generally solved them pretty quick. And of course, a little subtle upgrade. The wheel and tyre package has gotten different. They went from a 17-inch wheel and tyre to I think an 18 or 19-inch wheel and tyre. So the wheel's bigger, the tyres are more low profile, which allows for bigger brakes, so the car stops a bit better and generally handles a bit better. Now at the moment there's a lack of custom paints on the market, so a lot of guys will be in the same car, i.e. I'll be in the same car as a full vehicle, so don't worry about that. But we'll go ahead and actually get into what the car is now. So we'll start with the garage page. A little bit's changed. A lot of the adjustability has been taken out of the car, so there's no more front ballast. The brake bias is now the brake pressure bias, which is, if you put your foot on the brake, how much pressure goes to which end of the car. So at the moment it's giving you a front pressure, so 48% will go to the front, the rest will go to the rear. Roll center, any roll bars are now, the roll center is now low to high, so low, medium or high settings. Anti-roll bars are from 1 to 10, 1 is the softest, 10 is the stiffest. Preload's the same. We've now got the 4-way dampers, 4-way adjustable dampers, sorry. So your load speed dampers are for your weight transfer, all that sort of stuff, and high speed dampers are for curbs, bumps, all that stuff. Damper length is your spring perch offset, which adjusts the ride height of the car, and your spring rate's the exact same. Ride heights are a bit different this season. This is the baseline. It says modified, it's because I clicked the button and put it back. So the ride heights are much higher. They're about 50mm higher either end of the car from what you're from the baseline, and then a little bit more from what you're running usually. Fuel cell's gotten bigger as well. Whenever I say that, I think of Jared fuel cell, because that's what we call him, fuel cell. 112 litre fuel tank, so definitely a lot bigger, which will give us longer distance, longer range on the car, but 75 litres as per the baseline. All the same there at the rear end as well. So let's go ahead and take this car for a spin. and see how it goes. So we just exit the pit lane. First thing you notice is the display is a lot different, and if Granddaddy would find his right foot, that would be excellent. Thank you. So it's now using the Motec display that's used in all the cars. It's a standard issued piece of kit that everyone uses, which gives you your gear, engine temp, speed, lap time, fuel pressure and oil pressure. You've still got your shift lights. The steering wheel and interior of the car is all modelled off the Holden Racing Team 2014 car. That's the one they got the CAD data for, I believe. So the My Link thing is actually fake, doesn't do anything for you. It just sits there as a pretty picture. Please don't hit me, please don't hit me, thank you. So the first thing you notice is the rear end of the car is a little bit more lively across bumps because there's not as much weight in it, but it's also a bit more responsive, the whole car in general, in high speed areas. So I used to hate this part of the track in the forward. There you go, guy whinging about it. I love it already. But now it's definitely a lot nicer to drive. It's still got the, it's a bit more twitchy under brakes, and when you're hitting curbs, that's something you can tune. I'll try and tune out of it. I haven't touched the setups really, I've just had a look at the options, so that'll probably be a later video, how to tune the car up, but I really wish they changed the sounds. Man. It's a shame they only were given CAD data, they didn't actually go and scan the car physically and get the and record the sounds, because we still got the same crappy Ford sounds, which don't even sound like a Ford. You watch any Ford Falcon V8 Supercar and they don't sound like this. So, iRacing, please fix. I guess we can't have everything. We try, but we can't. So right now, I think the rear of the car's a bit stiff. It's not behaving as much as I like. Now, what this car has done is bring out a lot of names I have never actually raced with, but I've heard of. Reese Gardner's the outside one pit reporter from back in their broadcast days, but a lot of the older guys who I've never actually raced with before are coming out to play, which is good. More competition, which will make it more accurate reflection of the splits to a degree. This new car isn't a leveler, as much of a leveler as I thought it would be. It's still quick guys are quick, lots of quick guys aren't as quick, but it's a different. It's going to take a bit of time to adjust, so we've got a whole week before we hit Okayama, which is a free track. So if you don't want to pay too much money, you just want to buy the car, the first round is free once you buy the car. One thing I'm noticing just driving around is you can get on the throttle a little bit earlier, mainly because of the way the rear end is now. It's not as unfriendly to your inputs. Still will chew you up and spit you out if you're too aggressive with it, but it's not gonna kill you. I gotta stop grabbing that curb, it's trying to kill me. Oh, Bathurst frame rate. People stop connecting, it kills the frame rate for a sec.
Oh yeah, I thought you were gonna take off.
There's not a lot really I can actually say that's different about this car other than what I've already said. It drives much more beautifully. I have yet to race the car, I've really only done a few quick laps around Bathurst. We'll go ahead and give a hot lap as much as possible, hopefully I don't wall it. And thanks for watching, guys. Hope you got something out of this. We'll see how this hot lap goes, whether we do wall it or not.
I just like it. The cars are left me, I'll just flick it and wait for them.
Oh, that's not good. Really wide.
We have a car.
So it's not quite a hot lap, but you get the idea.
Pretty serious damage.
So there we go, a relatively quick lap. It's a fair way off my pace I can do. I did a 6.8 in a previous session, but thanks for watching, guys. Hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll catch you on the flip side.